LeBron James. He sat down with a guy that I think is fascinating, Odell Beckham Jr., and let's bring him on the show now because I think the interview gives you all sorts of insight to who Odell Beckham is. So, Mark Anthony Green, it's nice to meet you. So, it was in the winter. 6 months ago, Odell Beckham calls me on FaceTime.
Oh, okay.
We talked for 30 minutes.
Okay, you guys are good friends.
No, but we talked.
Okay.
I'll give you some background. So I had talked about something on the air. And I had said, I don't remember Odell Beckham being a problem at LSU or his first year in New York. But I said it's quite possible that he is a person, because I could relate to this, that doesn't do well with chaos. And the Giants have become increasingly chaotic, and that may be a poor environment for him, like it is for me. I've gone to therapy on this. I don't like chaotic situations. I like stability.
Right.
He called me and goes, man, you nailed it.
Right.
He goes, the last 3 years, I don't know what I'm getting week to week. So we had this fascinating guy. He did most of the talking, but he was fascinating.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, we've since fallen out. I said something he didn't like. But let's talk about Odell the person before we go, Mark, to Odell the football player. Do you think he's happy in your conversation? You're dealing with a happy athlete.
I mean, I asked him. I said, you know, are you happy? And he said, yeah. So, you know, I gotta take his word on that. I think my observation of him is that in LA with his friends, with his family, with his dogs, he loves his dogs. He's super happy. He was super happy, and because he's in his own environment. And, you know, there was some distance from so much scrutiny, and it was a little distance from, you know, playing the game. But he also, I think, really loves playing the game of football. Yeah. And in an ideal world, he would play the game and be able to play the game his way with who he wants to play with. And I think that Cleveland is close to an ideal situation for him.
Okay. So you think in his world he'd just like to play football. See, this is where I would push back. I think he also liked the Instagram followers, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. I think that comes with it.
He likes. I said this. Remember before Facebook, there was a company called MySpace.
Okay.
MySpace.
You're a little older than me, so
I know. But MySpace was a precursor to Facebook.
Yeah.
MySpace we weren't quite ready for MySpace. Facebook took the best of it, tweaked it, and made a titan. Odell Beckham in my lifetime is the first NBA player in the NFL. And I'm not quite sure the league is pivoting. This is my takeaway. He's MySpace.
That is Odell being the first NBA player in the NFL. That is what we would call a bar. That is good sentence. It's great. I agree with you 100%. The thing I would say is that if you love the NFL, it needs more NBA players, or it's going to end up like the MLB,
which is old, stagnant.
You need personalities. This is entertainment. And I think people like Odell Beckham Jr., though they are rare, they're really special. He kind of, remember that movie Wild Things?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, not Wild Things. The character's name was Wild Things. The Major League.
Yeah, of course. And by the way, Wild Things was also good with a young woman who I used to have a crush on, but that's another movie.
Yeah, again, you know, different generations. But, you know, I think that he's kind of like that character. He's you know, Charlie Sheen's character in the film. He you know, even down to the haircut. I mean, this is a guy who he's super electrifying. He plays with passion, for better and for worse. And I can't figure out what more you would want from a player for entertainment. You know,
this is true. Joy and I talk about this a lot. What makes basketball work is labor runs the show. In basketball, labor runs the league.
Why don't we call them stars? I don't want to call it labor. I understand what you're saying.
Employees.
Technically, yes.
Yeah. It's like an employee. It's in a company that employees have all the stock.
Yes.
Right. So employees I'll just use labor like that's an old term. Run the NFL has really been, and by the way, it should be that way, Mark, because basketball players change commerce and points.
100%.
Outside of quarterbacks, Vegas doesn't designate a single NFL player that's worth a point. J.J. Watt was not worth half a point. So my pushback on that would be, for entertainment, you are right.
Yeah.
But the NFL's like, our Pro Bowl gets higher ratings than all of their games except the finals. We're not about the star. We're about the system. We're about the shield.
They got to evolve, or I'm saying we're having this conversation now, and a part of our job everyone's job here is to try to see around the curve.
Right.
And I'm saying on this show, they have to change that mindset, or the NFL will struggle in the future, and it's going to get worse and worse. And people like Odell Beckham Jr. for your company is a great thing, and you should embrace that.
Yeah. Well, we do. We talk about him all the time.
Yeah, and you guys embrace it, and sometimes he likes what you say, sometimes you don't. But you understand that these kids, every kid is obsessed with sneakers now. Every kid is into fashion. You see all these kids that try to dress like these NBA players. Odell's one of the few NFL players that has embraced style. Obviously, I'm coming from GQ, so it's a thing I pay attention to.
Right.
But, that's a massive part of influence. And all these people that had Odell Beckham Jr.'s haircut, imagine if you had 5 Odells. Your sport, the thing that you're selling, is now just that much more influential.
Mark, do you worry? There are numbers, and I've heard him mention that Jerry Rice number several times.
Yeah.
23,000 yards. It is not currently attainable unless he was the #1 dominant receiver, getting about 80 catches a year and stayed injury-free.
Right.
Jarvis Landry is a special player. He is a 90-catch-a-year Pro Bowler.
Okay.
Friends don't give friends catches.
Yep.
I don't think his numbers are attainable. Do you think now, as we segue into a football part of it, does Cleveland work? And what if it doesn't initially, simply because Jarvis Landry's too darn special on the other side of the field?
Right.
You only have so many balls thrown. They also have the best young tight end in football.
Right.
And the best running back combination.
Right. Well, let me start with the prediction, and
Sure.
this is between us.
Yeah.
Just
nobody's listening.
Yeah. I'm predicting the Cleveland Browns to win the Super Bowl
This year.
First year out. I think it's going to work. To answer your question, I think that a lot of things on Twitter and in previous segments, people are like criticizing Odell for having this goal.
Right.
I think that's silly. He should. On one hand, we're like, hey, you got to really want to be the best. You got to want to care about football. We're pushing him to have this passion and this preoccupation with the game of football. And then he has this big goal, and he's serious about it. And we're like, yeah, but you're never going to get that. And it's crazy that you have that goal. In fact, it's selfish, and it's not going to work. Like, no, of course. He should have that goal. Everyone should look in the mirror and try to go out and be the best. And if you're not the best, you should be trying to beat the best. And that's all he's trying to do, in my perception of it.
He talks about retirement at one point in his career. So obviously New York was not, at some point, this was not working at all.
Yeah.
Like, how low do you think it went for him there?
I think it got really bad. But I also think, if I'm being very honest, I think Odell's sensitive. I'm sensitive. So I felt like I was speaking to another person who's sensitive. And I think that I always try to, no matter who I'm interviewing, be LeBron James, Odell, whoever, I try to put myself in their shoes. I try to apply what they're going through in their work and personal life to my work and personal life. And if things were, as you said, as chaotic at GQ, and the only way I could play the game is be at GQ, I probably would think about retirement as well, because I'm sensitive. So I think that sensitive people make some of the best things, and we look at that as a criticism. I personally think it's awesome. So, I think it was really, really bad, but I also think he's sensitive, and I think the Browns are better equipped to deal with a sensitive superstar like Odell.
When it was done, what was your big, obviously you think he's sensitive. When we got to, darn it, we're up against time. Could you stick around for a second?
I'm here with you. I'm here all day.
Okay.
Like they got food. It's great.
That's always my answer, too.
Yeah,
they got food. 3
complain.
words, I'll be around.
Yeah.
We'll return with Mark Anthony Green in a second. The Herd.